So this odd game that you're looking at is Creeper World 4, and this is another development video. This time I'd like to show you something about custom units. I've spent a lot of time working on scripting and graphical management for extensions to the game that the player community can create. So whether you enjoy making custom units for the Creeper World games or you just enjoy playing it, hopefully you'll find this interesting. So in this mission, which is in progress, I have 3 custom units that I've already created. A thing called Invert, which is really just an experimental unit. It's mostly useless, but it was interesting to look at. Something called Crazon, which are these walls that I've built, and then a mini fat, which is like the Fat Man that used to be in the game. It will do a conversion of creeper to anti-creeper once it detonates. So these Crazon walls, by the way, they stop the flow of creeper. If creeper floods up against them, it has a hard time getting over them. They do have a hide, and it can be swamped, but they're resistant to creeper. They don't blow up, and they stop the flow of creeper over them. So let me pause the game, and I'm going to go make another unit really fast, and we will try to complete the mission with the custom units that I have, plus all the ones that are built in, plus the new unit. So we'll bring up the editor, little button here, pop it up. I've got this new mods tab and a thing called a CPAC manager. A CPAC is just a package, a Creeper World package. It can contain all of my assets and custom units or global scripts that might be used to modify gameplay. So this particular one already has some, so there's the inverter and the crayon. It's already got some custom units, as well as one that I've not talked about yet that's existing on the map. We'll see that here in a minute. But let's go ahead and create a new unit. So first thing I want to do is import a mesh. Mesh is geometry. It's the shape of the unit. You can use any 3D tool you'd like, export as an OBJ and a texture, and then import those. You can also use Voxel Editors. They can be easier to use if you're not used to or good at 3D modeling. So I'm going to show you one of those. Magic of Voxel. That's one that's available for free. It's pretty good. And there's others. There's Cubicle and a whole range of voxel editors. But I've got Magic of Voxel right here, and I've drawn this little squarish looking unit with some colors on it. Just to show you real quick how these work, I can pick a color. Let's say this kind of reddish color, attach voxel, and then you click and you can deposit these cubes around. Let's say I might want to paint that area right there, or maybe I want it more of a greenish cyan color. So this is how you can create a model using just voxels or cubes. So you might design your new unit like we've done here, and I'm going to save it to a Vox file, and go back to the game now, and go to meshes and import, load my Magic of Voxel Vox file. I've got direct support for Magic Voxel files in their proprietary format, and I had saved it as AC bomb because that's the kind of unit we're going to build, an anti-creeper bomb. Let's open that up. I'll call it AC bomb as a mesh here as well. And there we got it, and it also automatically imported the texture. The texture is just the image that wraps over the geometry. It's what gives it its colors and such. So we've got our mesh, we got our texture. Let's add a unit now. Let's come here to units and add. Brand new unit just created. Let's call it AC bomb creatively. Now every unit can contain a tree of objects. For instance, if you're making a robot, you might have the body and a head and arms and legs and such. The reason they're separate objects is you might want them to be able to move independently, rotate, pivot, translate, etc. If it's a very simple object, you might only just have one root object, and here it is. By default, there's always at least one object per unit. And let's edit him and say we want that root object to have a mesh of AC bomb and a texture of AC bomb. There it is. There's the unit we built in our voxel editor or our modeling tool, whatever we prefer. And once we've got that mesh and texture, we can set it here. Now, meshes and textures are separate because they can be mixed and matched. Let's say I have a solid red texture here. Now that's solid red. If you use a texture that wasn't built for it, then the texture might have colors and things in weird locations, and they might not match. So if you put that, just these other textures for other units on there, you can get some interesting effects, and that might be what you want. If you kind of want a hodgepodge of colors and things stuck around. But you might have different textures for the same unit built for it, just different modes or something like that, and then be able to swap them out. That's why textures are separate from meshes. Anyway, let's put our AC bomb back in place as we designed, and you can see it's got the 4 red and the little greenish cyanish type square we painted on top. So let's now go and while I'm here, just to really flesh this out, let me add a child object. So I've added another one here. It's a child of root. Let's set him equal to, what else have I got here? I've got a cube mesh already imported. That's fine. Let's just invert. Use that texture on it. It's got little exclamation marks, and it's big. It just kind of covered up our unit. So let's change the scale. Let's say 0.3 maybe, 0.3 and 0.3, and then move it up on the y-axis by 1, so it appears on top. There I've added this child object on top. And let's give it an independent rotation, maybe 45 degrees about the y-axis. So there you go. That might be the equivalent of a head on our robot or something like that. So we'll leave it there. And, well, let's give it a name. Let's call it the Knot Cube. The Knot Cube. Okay. Just for organizational purposes. Now let's go through some settings. It's not an enemy. This unit looks like it's 1 by 1. It's only 1 grid cell big and about 1 tall. I only want it to cost 10 energy. Now it could be other stuff, but let's just do energy at the cost of 10. These are going to be cheap to build. A health of, let's lower the health. We want this thing to blow up quickly when it touches creeper, because it's going to be an anti-creeper bomb. I want it to deposit anti-creeper when it finds itself in creeper. Can it move? Yes, we want it to move. All these others I think we can leave alone right now. And let's go to interface. We want this to appear somewhere. Maybe let's put it in our weapons menu. Let's do that. Instead of in the custom menu, let's put it in the weapons menu. Let's call it the AC bomb. The unit is selectable. Player can destroy it. Sure, we can automatically calculate our collider. We don't really need a health bar because it blows up quickly, so let's get rid of that. But let's add a build bar. Let's apply these settings. There's our build bar, and our health bar just went away. It's too far away. Let's pull it in a little bit. There we go, -1 on the z-axis. That's close enough. And yeah, drag selectable. We'd like to be able to select them in big batches. Apply, and we're almost good to go, except for what's going to make it deposit the anti-creeper. For that, or whatever, if we're doing a sophisticated unit, it might have some sophisticated logic. We're going to attach a script to it. So let's go to scripting, and looks like I've already written it here. Let's take a quick look at it. And this is an external editor that just popped up. I have Notepad++ associated, and you can use any editor you like. It's just a file on disk, and you just need to edit it. In this case, this script has a callback for destroyed. So when the unit is destroyed, do this. Set creeper at the current unit cell. -100, that means anti-creeper because it's negative. And false means whether it can lower the creeper or not. So let's compile all our scripts. They're all compiled. Now let's come back to our bomb unit and our scripts and select the script we want to add. And there we go. We've added the AC bomb script to this unit. If I created more units, I could add that script or others, combinations of them. They can have their individual settings here if they define parameters. Okay, so new unit is in place. Let's close this down, close this down, close the editor, unpause the game, and let's test it right fast. There's our AC bomb in our weapons menu. Let's build one. Should only take 10 energy to build. So this is going to be an energy to AC converter essentially, and if I destroy it, there's our spike of 100 anti-creeper. Okay, so those should come in handy. Let's build several of them and carry on with this mission. So let's build some more units up here, and we'll also play with our custom units. These little mini fats. Let's build a couple of them in addition to the one we've got already. The inverter is, it's almost useless, but it was entertaining nonetheless. All it does is reverse. I've got one here too. It reverses the direction of waves when it detonates. So if I move him here into the creeper, when he contacts the creeper and detonates, any of these waves that are headed this direction will reverse direction. Now sometimes that can be a good thing. Sometimes it can be a bad thing, so let's see what happens. Detonation, and then the waves are reversed and they're headed away. Not very powerful since it doesn't destroy things, but it was a cool custom unit to experiment with. The script for it is very simple too. It's just a couple loops. They can be useful if you position them sort of around in locations that you might worry about, as in, let's say a big tsunami were to come along and I'm not paying attention and it's about to swamp one of these mesas. Well, if it contacts this inversion cube, it detonates. That wave that was going to cover the island or the mesa gets reversed, so you don't have this big flood over. And it's also sort of an alert to you as the player that something's going on. That's about the only use case I can come up with so far for those things. And by the way, these are not official units. These are just custom units that I'm using to test the ability to create custom units. So if you don't like these units, don't use them. If you want new units or you want them to do something different, that's what this system is for map makers to make their own units and then share them with other people. Okay, so what I want to do is hook up to this guy because this is where some cool stuff happens. Let's build here. This is another custom unit as well, and when I hook up to him, he's going to require a resource and then produce some things. That little graphic is a decal that I put there. If you've seen earlier videos, you'll know about decals. So he's pulling in Liftic, and let's advance forward here. These guys, let's bring them up to the party. So when he's charged up, he creates, let's pause it right fast, he creates these little robots that spawn and then move towards the deepest creeper on the map. They reevaluate that decision. I think it's every 10 seconds. It's a parameter though, it can be configured. They take damage as they travel through the creeper, so that when they blow up, they're like a powerful mortar that just detonated. They'll damage down to 500 deep creeper out to a healthy radius. So they're this is similar to the Mezzo map in Creeper World 3. Let's see which way he's going. Let's get down and take a look at him. The head will rotate to point towards the mouse, and he's even got a little eye that kind of does a little sideline back and forth. You can see him walk around, and he's keeping his eye on my mouse cursor. And he'll go to where he thinks he can do some good damage and then detonate. And this is pretty aggressive right now. It's pretty cheap to operate because this is a video where I'm demoing stuff. So mission's not terribly difficult. And these guys are going to continue to spawn and do their magic, and they're going to start working down that creeper for me. So yeah, that was I call these Gorts, and this is a Gort temple. Day the Earth stood still, in case you're interested in where the term Gort came from. And so to complete this mission, I need to get this totem and this totem. That's all I got to do. So let's see what we can do. bring our mortars forward. We can do some inverting. We can even do a little AC bombing here. Why not? They're not very powerful, but they can help. Once we get him built, it'll or charged up, this totem will deploy a shield, so we won't have to worry about him much more after that. But in the meantime, let's bring some of these forward, because look at this, these waves are going to want to come up here and crush over, take out this tower. So let's see if we can help prevent that. Okay, he's charged now. I might still lose this tower. Maybe. Okay, nope, he's secure. Now this one, what do we do? What are we going to do? So let's build some more of these guys. A healthy collection of them. Pretty cheap. So let's just do it. I need to, let's bring our mini fats up, because I think I can use them and create a temporary area of anti-creeper just long enough to deliver liftic to this totem. That's the plan anyway. We want our packets to get there as quickly as possible, so let's see if we can park. We can park a tower here, and yeah, so he just went off because look at it, look at here, we're getting swamped already. Let's build some inverters. We can position them around. I'm going to need the firepower brought forward. Won't hurt to have this sprayer up here. Oh, look at this, we're getting swamped in here. If a wave comes up tall enough, it will penetrate into this shield, and then the shield will actually push it inland. We don't really want that. So I wonder, that might be a good spot for an inverter. So yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just experimenting. Same as you might if you were playing this game. So let's see. Let's bring more of these guys to the front line. Okay. And can't hurt to have a couple extra, or a few extra assets. Okay, so now I need to get my tower positioned. The idea is, okay, yeah, these are one by one, so they can park. It's going to be awfully tough. I really wanted it near the edge, but might not be in the cards. Let's just park them around. Anywhere a creeper looks like it might want to do its thing, we want to do our thing back. And let's build more of them. You know what? That tower is too far from there. It's a little sloppy, but nonetheless, I want a fast link all the way through. Let's get our mortars moved up. You know, I might even be able to sneak a cannon down here. Let's put some buddies down here. Oh, look at this. Little spore doing its spore thing. Is that right? It's okay. We had an antidote. Okay. This is looking pretty decent. Let's pause and see what it's going to take. It's going to have to go right around in here, which means, yeah, we could do that. Let's build a couple of them, different locations, for redundancy, in case you know, something tragic happens to one of them. We don't want to fail. These are good enough that I'm going to do some forward deployment here. Going kind of crazy with them. Kind of crazy. Let's bring the fat up. Yeah, they're doing their thing. Let's get the next one ready. Oh wow, that was a nice. That was a Gort assist, wasn't it? Yeah, we got a conversion here. Let's bring them forward. I'm going to manually detonate a few of them here. Let's see now. Can we sneak in here? Can you build? Okay. I'm going to, let's try that. Go ahead, and these guys in the back won't matter as much. It's all about this line right here. It's all about getting our resources to charge up that totem and win the mission. Oh, look at this. Look at the little spores. They're trying. Go ahead, fellas. Try your best. It's not going to work for you. Victory. Yeah, you didn't even get to hit. The spores didn't even get a chance to make it. So there you have it. Quick tour of a monster load of work that I've done that boiled all the way up into the custom unit manager. The idea again was that you can create these units, package them all up, share those. So if there's a set of cool units that the community's created, and you want to make a map of those units, no problem. Just import the creeper package, and then you've got those units. Don't have to manually share a bunch of images in certain slots or scripts and all of that. It's just here. It's just wrapped up. It's a single .cpack file that you can import. Or if you want to make them, you can do the same. You can do that as well. There's a lot more work yet to do, of course, but this is sort of the start, the beginning. The scripting is for RPL, Forpal, and it's based on CRPL and PRPL. It's RPL-based internal language, and I'm cleaning it up. Put a lot of work. K75 and I are into the documentation, and I'm trying to do it all right this time and get a good clean foundation so that we can get some good quality maps from the community and everybody can have fun playing them. And I can't wait because folks come up with some awesome things. That is for sure. Things I never would have thought of for Creeper World 3. I can't wait to see what you come up with for Creeper World 4. It's gonna be a real hoot to see what you come up with. Oh, one last thing. I've also added a console. This is a place where you can run a script without attaching it to a unit or making a custom package or whatever. You might be useful editing tools, or you just want to test something. In this case, I have a script written by K75 for making a pyramid of terrain. So if I run this and come here and click, I just made a pyramid on the terrain. It's got parameters that can control it, the height and the step and all of that. But that's pretty neat. So it's like a brush. It's a custom scripted brush. And I've got terrain undo support for edits. That's why I can paint, and then undo. So that's cool. I imagine folks will come up with some really nifty editing tools for this, and I may even provide a different way to use brushes that are based on scripts. But the console is sort of the catch-all general purpose place for detached scripting right now. It can also be very useful for just testing commands. Anyway, there we have it. And as always, I thank you for watching.